Hi, everybody. You can see now that I have done several tests. You can see that I have my white belt, my yellow belt, my orange belt, my green belt, and my purple belt. So we're here today to work on the blue belt exam. And the blue belt exam is to the song When the Saints Go Marching In. You will notice that there are some little ties. So it almost looks like a bracket connecting some of the notes. What that means is you actually play it for the value of the notes that are attached. So, for example, on the word saints, you'll see that there is a whole note, which is worth 4 beats, but it continues on to the next quarter note. So then we would count that for 5 beats instead of 4. So just for the beginning of the song, it would sound like this. And if I'm counting, oh, when the saints 2, 3, 4, 5 go marching, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 is actually what I would do. And it goes into beat 1 of the next bar. So you want to practice playing using those ties to hold those notes longer than a full bar's worth of beats. Just do the amount of beats that are indicated. So if it were a whole note, which is 4 beats, plus a half note, which is 2, you would play that note for 6 beats without breaking it, without stopping. Even though you see 2 notes, you do need to, because of the tie, you need to play it for the amount of beats that are contained within that tie. So Blue Belt exam, When the Saints Go Marching In, does start with a rest. And we need to observe that rest. So when I'm counting in, I'm actually going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, oh, when the saints, because I count beat 1, or at least in my head, I'm going to count beat 1 to remember that I don't play for that beat. So here we go. Oh, when the saints go marching in, blue belt exam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, you're going to notice that I made a few mistakes in that song, and I decided to continue my video to talk about those mistakes. There are breath marks, and I forgot to observe some of those breath marks, and as a result, I did run out of air. So it's really important to breathe in some of those spots and to breathe deeply so that you can have enough air to continue, especially on those long notes that count for 5 or more beats. So I'm going to try it again, and you can play along. My rhythm was fine without the little breaks here and there in my long notes. So I'm going to try again, and I will do my best to breathe in the correct places. So that's just a good learning moment. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we miss a breath and we don't have enough air to complete. So that's really important when that happens to you, to look at where you're breathing and how many times you're breathing, and not to get carried away and miss those breath marks or miss a place where you need to breathe so that you can complete the song successfully. We definitely have to breathe well before those long tied notes so that we don't run out of air. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. just a lot more successful. And you can see that I had a little more breath left when I got to those big notes because I did breathe a little more regularly and observed my breath marks. So it's really important to breathe if you're going to make music. So don't forget that. The other item that I want you to remember in this particular song is that we need to just keep going. Sometimes we might make a mistake, and if you make a little mistake and you can keep going and you've just missed one note and keep going, it's not a big deal. You'll notice in the first time that I played that song, I did make a few mistakes in my breathing, and I made some, sometimes I make squeaky sounds too. But if I keep going and don't go back and repeat, that's really important to keep the song going. It's kind of like in the old theater, people used to say the show must go on. And in recorder class, the song must go on. So please remember to keep going. If you miss one note, you could still get your belt. It's not going to be a pass or fail. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does have to be pretty close though. So you want to make sure that you're not making more than 2 or 3 mistakes per song when you approach me to test for some of these belts. So again, we're sitting at purple belt. I have just done my blue belt test. The first one certainly would not have been as high as the second version. The second version would be more of your A level exam. So happy practicing once again, and I will see you when you test for your blue belt. Good luck.